Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And we're grateful big time for you guys. We always love to say hello to a few friends before we get started here today. And let's see who's number one on the hit parade again this morning. It is, here we go, Lisa. Lisa, you come out of nowhere. Andrea, Mike from Norland, and Brahim. Brahim, you're number 4 today. Sandy from Minnesota. Roxanne, how are you? Jude from Troy, New York. Fran from Orangeville. I'm laughing because Eric, hello. Nick from our staff. Margaret, Lakeland. Kevin from Oshawa. Arlene, good morning. Laurie, Niagara Falls. Donna, Park Hill. Nellie, good morning. Chantal, Ottawa. Wendy from Markham. Elaine, St. John's, Newfoundland. Marilyn, PEI. Catherine, how are you? From Parksville, British Columbia. Catherine, Denise. I couldn't see. Goes up in the clouds. Margaret. And Nancy, Gore's Landing. Francis from Vaughan. Mary Lou. I thought there's a song there. And I think that was Deb from Motown. Gary. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Fran, Tilsonburg. Brahim said he just woke up. Yeah, it's early there in Portland, Oregon, isn't it? Lise, Lorraine, and Cheryl. How are you? Shelley Baxter. Maureen, Penticton, British Columbia. Patricia from Florida. Mara, how are you? And wait a minute, I just missed it. I can't see it. Barbara, Cape Breton. And Nina, how are you? And Adeline. And Cecilia. They go by real fast, guys. Sometimes you just can't see them. Lori in Cambridge. And Tina. Tina said she's always in the clouds. Dave. Marianne. 2 more, guys, so we got to get going. Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Carol, West Virginia. And Sue, how are you? And I missed one. Well, I missed more than one. Who is that from Quebec? Monica, how are you? And Gertie, how is you? And who was that from West Tennessee? Joanne. And I'm going to say hi to Dr. McEwen because she's usually on, but I miss her. Sandy, Sue. And Marilyn from Edmonton, Alberta. Milika. Okay, guys, let's get... Gary is suffering from cortisol spikes because of post-acute withdrawal. Okay? They call that PAWS. Capital P, capital A, capital W, and capital S. PAWS. Acute withdrawal. And this is usually, well, it's if you're withdrawing from opioids. Have I ever seen this before where you get cortisol spikes? You bet your boots. You bet your boots I've seen it before. I've seen it, Gary, quite a few times in my office and over the years. And I'm going to tell you, as far as a natural supplement, there is nothing better. If you look at our formula, the cortisol formula, nothing better on the market. I'm usually on these podcasts, I don't say too much necessarily about our products. I talk in generalities, but if you're asking me about PAWS, hey, over the years too, many people just tobacco withdrawal. That ain't easy. Opioids, terrible. The best natural supplement you can take is our cortisol formula. I'll put it up against any formula. The way we formulated that, anyway. Yes, Gary, I've had some experience, and good luck to you, buddy, because if you're going through withdrawal, not easy, and we're praying for you too. Gary, thanks for the question. Carol, do you know anything about Gilbert syndrome? Yep. What do you want to know? Okay. Now, Carol is asking, what, if any, dietary changes, lifestyle changes need to be made? Now, listen, a lot of people that get Gilbert syndrome is a liver problem. Okay. And their production of bilirubin is compromised. Okay. Now, whenever you talk about the liver, the liver is a very, 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 very important part of your body, of your detox system. And it is so important that if you cut a piece of your liver off, your body would grow that piece back. Your body has an unbelievable ability to regenerate the liver. And the reason is for that is because your liver is key. Now, you know me. I talk about the liver for almost in everything because I call it the Costco parking lot. The Costco parking lot is always full. Just go by Costco. If the store's open, it's full, the parking lot. Okay? I never seen anything like it. And so I love illustrations. So in my head, people today, more than ever, by the way, have liver problems. And the reason is because we're carboholics. We're carboholics. And insulin's job is to take sugar out of your bloodstream and keep that blood sugar very tightly regulated. So your insulin from your pancreas has to take sugar out. Sugar can't park in the bloodstream. It's a no parking zone because your body understands that sugar is toxic. You there, don't park in the blood. Come here. That's what insulin does. Insulin is a traffic cop. And it says, sugar can't park in blood. There's only one parking spot in the whole 60,000 miles of bloodstream of blood vessels. I think it's 63,000 miles to be exact. 1.5 times around the equator. That's how much blood vessels you have in your body. Anyway, sugar can't park in there. Your body knows that sugar is toxic. The world doesn't. The world says moderation when it comes to sugar. But your body says, nah, I can't have sugar stay in the bloodstream. I must park it. If you don't use that sugar right away as energy, insulin takes it and parks it. Now, it would like to park it in your muscles. Okay? It would like to park sugar converted to glycogen in your muscles. But if you don't have a lot of muscle, it's going to park it in your liver. Let me say something just because I know I'm on a little bit of a rabbit trail. A lot of people are skinny. A lot of people don't know that they have a lot of fat around their organs because they look skinny. The worst thing you can do, one of the worst things you can do, is not to have any muscle in your body. Because muscle is a wonderful parking spot for sugar, for glycogen. But if you don't have muscle, you know what happens? Your body stores the sugar in your liver. And the liver has only so much room, and all that glycogen is going to be turned to fat in the liver. And the parking lot will get, the Costco parking lot gets full. That's not good for your liver because, now Gilbert syndrome a little bit different because, it's more of a rare condition. But at the end of the day, hold on, here's me with my memory. The end of the day, Carol, the best thing you can do for your liver is to keep it empty so that it functions properly. An empty liver is a good liver because your liver produces cholesterol. Your liver does over 500 things, but its main job is to detox your body. And when you get a fatty liver, because you're a carboholic and you're a sugarholic and you're especially a fructose-holic, high fructose corn syrup, people are walking around today very unhealthy and they don't know it. Because unfortunately, doctors test the wrong things. They're so hung up on cholesterol, they don't look at triglycerides. And they don't look at the importance of HDL cholesterol. They're looking at total cholesterol. They're looking at LDL cholesterol because that's the way they've been trained. But they're not looking at the health of the liver until it's diseased. Fatty liver, it's got no symptoms most of the time. You don't even know you have it. But if you do the reset, in 5 or 6 days, it will empty that liver. It will empty it of the fat in there. So, that's what you do, Carol. Eat eggs, meat, and cheese to save your bacon. No, to save your liver. Okay? To save your liver. Thank you very much for the question. Jacques is asking a question. I eat red meat. Good for you. Good for you. If I eat red meat, if red meat has glutamine, okay, am I feeding cancer with glutamine? Now, Jacques, I appreciate the question, but you just gave me a migraine. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here, but I'm getting a migraine headache and my blood pressure has gone up. I'm glad you asked the question. Ooh. Oh. I tell you, and it's all right, guys. I want you to ask questions. Be curious. You see something on the internet. I've seen this too, by the way. Oh, glutamine is feeds cancer. You see the migraine? No, it doesn't. Glutamine is an amino acid. Your body makes it. Okay? Your body makes it. It's a building block. Glutamine actually helps you in cancer. If someone has cancer, glutamine, I tell you, this is a long time ago, but I can't remember what cancer said. The Sloan, anyway, I've got to look it up. They were suggesting taking glutamine for cancer because it gets rid of ammonia in the body. It detoxes the body. Now, I love L-glutamine because it helps to fix leaky gut. It helps to knit that little layer between your gut and your blood, the gut-blood barrier. Glutamine helps to knit it up. Glutamine is a big part of bone broth. Do you think bone broth is not good for you if you are for cancer? Here is the problem with cancer. Cancer cells are ravenous. They love sugar, not glutamine. Sugar, Jacques. Okay? And I know there's an agenda today to get people off red meat. There's a huge agenda. And red meat, and to some extent, it's working. Okay? It's working. Because meat consumption is down 30%. And it's a terrible tragedy that people buy the lie of red meat. Red meat causes heart disease. Red meat causes cancer. Red meat causes colon cancer. And if you eat red meat, you're going to get colon cancer. I never heard such stupidity in all my life. It's stupidity on steroids. The best food, Jacques, that you can eat for cancer and not to get it is steak. The more dense a food is in nutrients, in all the vitamins, in all the nutrients, the best macros, protein and fat. Not fat and carbs, protein and fat. The way God intended us to eat. Okay? Mostly from the animal kingdom. You can have some plants. You can have some veggies. You can have some fruit, but don't live on that. Live on the animal kingdom. Eggs, nature's perfect food. Meat, nature's perfect food. And cheese, dairy. Now, again, I think you guys know me enough that I don't have to tell you, I don't like milk in a grocery store, but I sure like it coming out of a cow. So if you got a cow in the backyard, drink milk. Okay? Jacques, I love you, buddy. Thanks for giving me a migraine this morning. No, guys, it's because I read this every day. Guys, I'm a researcher, okay? I read more medical articles. I don't know. Maybe there are someone that reads more than I do. Maybe. But I'll tell you, I read everything I can in medicine. Everything. Now, sometimes I only take a glance because, it's not relevant to me in a sense. But I read everything. And if I think it's important, I put it up in my my bank up here, between my ears. And I read stuff on red meat, and it's unbelievable, some of the things they say about it. And I always tell people, look, if red meat was no good for you, why did God put B12 where you can't find it anywhere else? Why would he put it in steak and tell you then oh, by the way, don't eat it. It ain't good for you. Why would he put heme, H-E-M-E, iron in red meat? It's not found anywhere else. And then say, oh, by the way, don't eat it. It ain't good for you. Why would he put all the essential amino acids in red meat and then tell you, don't eat it because it's not good for you? Why? I'm a why guy. It doesn't make any sense, guys. It's propaganda. It ain't true. It just ain't. And I'm not backing off. Even if there's L-glutamine in steak, it's good for you. Okay, hey, Shirley, I have scoliosis. Okay, no fun. A lot of people have scoliosis. Scoliosis is a curvature of the spine. Okay? And I would like to know how to cope with pain and inflammation. Okay, Shirley, 1, numero uno. Get strong. Get strong. You need muscle, because muscle is one of the greatest things you can do with scoliosis, curvature, or osteoporosis, thinning of the bone, or osteopenia, which is the start of thinning of the bone. Because the stronger your muscles are, the more they anchor in to that spine. They anchor in. And it makes a huge difference. It might not straighten your curvature, but your body is unbelievable in its ability to compensate for that. Now, you might want to get adjustments, chiropractic, okay? Massage therapy, whatever. It can be helpful. Pain and inflammation, if you're getting it from the scoliosis, okay? Yeah, I mean, you can deal with that. I'd have you on bone broth. I would have you on Navital. Big time. Curcumin, anti-inflammatory, big time. Okay. Thanks for the question. We appreciate it. And Susan, what causes white spots on your fingernails? Well, okay. Usually 3 things. Okay, usually. It can be a fungus, yeast, fungal. I used to see that a lot in my office. 2, it can be medications. Certain medications can give white spots on the fingernail, or it could be allergies too. I often, when I would see that, I was interested, by the way, in fingernails. Okay? And usually if you got lines through them, you got, you're not, your stomach acid isn't strong enough, and you're not breaking food down properly. I used to look at fingernails. Show me your fingernails. I used to look at eyes. I used to look at eyebrows. I used to look at hair. I used to look at the skin. I was very observant. My dad taught me that. Look, God gave you eyeballs, use them. A lady told me the other day, she went in to see her doctor and he never turned around. He was on the computer. He never turned around to look at her. He was facing his computer and what's the problem, ma'am? Like, are you kidding me? A doctor that don't look at you? You need to be observant. I used to be able to tell in a nanosecond if someone had a thyroid problem. What? I just looked at their eyebrows. Thinning hair. I said, you got a thyroid problem. Now, thyroid's complicated. And I'm going to test all your hormones. But I tell you, your thyroid's not up to snuff. Oh, my doctor said my blood tests are normal. I know. But we don't just rely on blood tests. We look at everything. And I'm observing something. You got a thyroid problem. Hello? Anyway. Okay. Diane. She wants to know about prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, the claim that we can have too much good bacteria. Well, Diane, let me tell you something, okay? This is a semi-migraine. When I hear that you can have too much good bacteria. Now, Diane, we got trillions, okay? With a T, not a B, and not an M. It's not millions. It's not billions. We got trillions of bacteria. And they're everywhere in your body. They're everywhere in your body. Now, the majority of them are found in your gut, okay? But they're on your skin, they're in your lungs, they're in your brain, they're everywhere. And I use this example, and, guys, I'm not trying to preach at you, okay? I just want to give you an example, okay? In the Bible, it talks about an invisible world. You can't see it, okay? But it exists. It's just you can't see it. It's invisible. And it says that in Ephesians 6, okay? That we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places, it says, okay? You can't see it, but it's there, okay? It's the same thing with your bacteria. You can't see it, but it's there. And the more powerful the microscope, the more they study the microbiome, which is the study of bacteria, okay? Microbiome. And there's an invisible war that goes on in the body between good, bad, and ugly. Okay? Good bacteria, bad bacteria, and ugly. The Trojan horse that can get into the body. I just talked about it. On the fingernails. Yeast or fungus. Okay? There's a war going on inside your body. And it's called you win if you have more good guys than bad guys. Okay? It's called you win. And Hippocrates was on to this when he said all diseases start in the gut. the father of medicine, over 2,000 years ago. Okay? So when you don't get into the weeds, that's what I would tell you as far as probiotics and postbiotic and prebiotics. The best prebiotic in the universe, you know what it is? Well, it's a toss-up between coffee and steak. You want to feed your good bacteria, the good guys? Feed them dense, nutrient foods. You see, they all talk about fiber. Fiber feeds your good bacteria. I'm not so sure about that. It's highly overrated. Brought to you by the cereal companies. What really feeds your good bacteria is steak and cheese and butter and eggs. You want a good prebiotic? There you go. Okay? And you're never going to get too much good bacteria, Diane. That's an impossibility. Because we're not talking billions. We're talking trillions. And even children. Okay? Because people ask me, Doc, I'm giving my children 50 billion bacteria. Is that dangerous? I said, no. They got trillions of bacteria. Trillions. And if you take an antibiotic, you wipe out all the good guys in 5 days. You better replace that. So, Diane, I appreciate it. It was Diane. Yeah. I appreciate your question. I do, because it gives me a chance to rant. Okay? Rant. Because there's so much misinformation out there. But I want you guys to do your research. I like that, and then ask me questions. But I'm going to undo some stuff because it's just not true. Because the multiplication, even between billion and trillion, it's so incredible. It's so incredible. The difference. You need good bacteria, and you ain't ever going to get enough of it. You just I never seen a case. I know what's wrong with you. You got too much good bacteria. No, it's the opposite of that. I know what's wrong with you. You don't have enough good bacteria, and now you got what we call dysbiosis, and you got a problem, Houston. And it can go to your lungs, yeast. It can go into your sinuses, yeast. It can get into your brain and carry heavy metals, yeast. It's the Trojan horse that comes in when you don't have enough good bacteria, guys. That's why I talk about it all the time. That's why I talk about leaky gut all the time. Leaky gut, leaky skin, leaky gut, leaky brain, leaky gut, leaky sinuses, leaky gut, leaky joints. Leaky gut, leaky everything. Diane, we love you. Thanks for the question. It gets me going, and I just got a workout. Jim, is DHA upgraded, formulated to bypass the stomach acid? Well, listen. Yes and no. Okay, because I think, Jim, what you're doing is you're mistaking the DHA with a probiotic. Okay? For example, when you get a cheap probiotic, it ain't getting past the stomach acid. It just won't. And those bacteria won't survive to get to where their intended destination. That is why we have a pharmaceutical grade probiotic. The strains in there and the way it's formulated, I just got to tell you, the best. And we have it independently tested. And it is made to get past the stomach acidity, to go where it needs to go. Now, when you're talking about an oil, like a DHA, for example, okay, your stomach is needed there. The acid in your stomach is needed there to break it down. You want your stomach acid to break that oil down so that your body can use it. It sends it in once it's micro-sized. The nutrients, the DHA, is then sent in to the gut for absorption into your bloodstream. That's how it gets up into your brain. But you don't want to coat that so that it can't break down in your stomach. You actually want the oil to be broken down in the stomach. Okay? You want it to be. Your body knows what to do with that oil because it's oil that your body needs. Your brain's made up of DHA. Your eyeballs are made up of DHA. You need that fat, that good fatty acid, the best of the best. And when it is a highly, formulated, when that oil is it's liquid gold, guys. And it works. And your body is like, it's when you eat, I'll give you an example. If you eat, you're having a steak. There's DHA in a steak, by the way. See, you need your stomach acidity. Your body was made. Your stomach was made to eat steak. That's why you should have very, very, very acidic stomach. Because it knows how to break the steak down and take the essential nutrients and bite-size them, micro-size them, so that your body absorbs it once it's into the small intestine. So, excellent question. I really appreciate that, Jim. Okay? Sheila, for DIM, okay? It is dehydrated cruciferous veggies that qualify for DIM. Well, it's an extract of broccoli. Okay? It's not broccoli, but it's an extract of it. And it is highly specific. DIM, the quality of DIM is really important because what is DIM, by the way? D-I-M, capital D, capital I, capital M. Okay? What does it do? What is the main function of DIM? It is to take away any excess estrogen in the body. Okay? You need that. Now, you can eat broccoli. Broccoli is good for you. But in order to get the amount of DIM, let's say 100 milligrams, you'd have to eat about, about 10 pounds of broccoli. Are you going to do that? Okay? This is very specific. And the way they formulate this, okay? And again, I'm going to just show you, for the folks that are listening on a podcast, I'm going to show you again, because I have it right in front of me from my clinic days. I can show people estrogen, okay? What does estrogen look like? It's invisible to the naked eye. But we used to be able to see it on the body because we had a very specific scan. They hardly ever do this. It's too bad. Okay, because people are doing, scans for breast cancer, for example, and they're looking for inflammation. Okay, and I got no problem with that. Okay, thermography. I got no problem with that. But at the Martin Clinic, we had a specific scan, okay, that looked for estrogen on the skin. And it was fascinating. Men and women. Okay? Now, I'm showing here a scan for estrogen. And this lady here, okay, you can see, okay, for the folks that are listening to this on a podcast, visualize this. Leper spots, especially on the chest wall, okay? Very dangerous. Estrogen. Look, ladies, without estrogen, you ain't a woman. Men, too much estrogen, and you ain't a man. You become a woman. Okay? So what DIM does, okay, so you see the estrogen again, okay, I'm just showing it to you. It's like leper spots. And women would come in and do the scan. They had no idea. They had no idea they had estrogen in the bad areas, okay? Now, this is after 1 year of using DIM. Okay? Because they were so full of estrogen in the bad spots around their boobs, their chest wall. I said, that's dangerous. And a year later, I'm showing the same estrogen scan, and all that estrogen's been taken off the chest wall. All of it. With DIM. D-I-M. So, I like that. I have it in my menopausal formula. I have it in my hormonal formula. And another thing that lowers estrogen, you guys know this. What lowers estrogen? Lignans. Where do you find the most lignans? In flaxseed. And you know, I'm not a fan of chipmunks and squirrels. Well, I don't mind them, but you're not one of them. I don't like people living on nuts and seeds. Okay? I said, you're not a chipmunk. What are you doing? Storing for winter? Okay? But I do like flax seeds because they help block estrogen. And I used to prove it to patients in my office. Okay? So DIM, and by the way, let me just say this, and let me see, how many more questions do we have? Because I'm always going overtime. Okay, we got a few, we'll take it up on Monday. Okay, but let me, there's a medication. Okay? If you guys think I'm silly about estrogen, I want to tell you if you get breast cancer, ladies, okay? One of the treatments, what do they do? Almost invariably, okay? They'll give you tamoxifen. You know what tamoxifen is? It's a blocker of estrogen. Why did they do that? Why would an oncologist put someone on tamoxifen? To block estrogen. Because they know that, even, look, I used to have a little argument with, on oncologists. Not that, listen, I had a lot of respect for them, but a little argument with them. Okay? Because they said, well, that cancer, that breast cancer wasn't, we tested the cells and they weren't driven by, the cancer cells were not driven by estrogen. I said, yes, they were. I beg to disagree. Estrogen is a growth hormone, and so is insulin, by the way. Okay? But reducing extra estrogen in the wrong places is a great idea, ladies. And it's a great idea, men, because prostate cancer needs estrogen to grow. Guys, I have a lot of experience in these things. I saw so much of it. Okay? Thank you for the question. And that was Sheila. Well, Sheila, thank you. Okay, now guys, have I told you lately that I love you? Are you missing a hug today from me? Gather around and let me give you a hug. I love hugging people. Okay, I really do. And we're giving you a big hug because we love you dearly. Thanks for being the best audience in the universe. And I mean it. Okay. Don't be scared to ask questions, guys. Okay? Even if you give me a migraine, I'd rather you give me a migraine than not ask me a question. Okay? It goes away, by the way. Okay, we love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.